Well, I'm sitting outside of a CAT on Industrial Road in Cambridge, and there's some cool machines over here. It's CAT 980M and CAT 972, and then there's bigger ones in the back there. I was just hoping for some action, you know, maybe see some trucks loading or unloading, but there's nothing here. Howdy, boys and girls. It was a bit tricky making this lens focus because now I'm using this USM lens, right? And it's noisy, kind of like zooming in and out. And so I'm just experimenting with this. You see, it's not focusing now. What I did, I have this magazine, and I put it like that at a set distance, and then I just was turning the ring on the camera like left and right a little bit till I see this text was sharp, you know. Actually works pretty well because I can see the screen. That's why I'm wearing glasses, so that you guys see, like, I'm not watching like that, but you know, this might work. But anyway, I posted an update on YouTube saying that I've been trying to find a load and everything is kind of like wrong. You know, either it's too heavy, and actually there's a super heavy load. It's paying pretty well, and actually I found it first at one of those online auctions, and I put a price down, I thought, which was, you know, a good price. But I dealt with this machine before. It's a CAT 990, but I never realized that it was so heavy, right? And so I'm making bids because the guy didn't put any data in there, and somehow when I looked online, like at Ritchie Brothers specs, somehow I didn't pay attention to the weight, you know, because, okay, like, how bad can it be, right? And then the guy on my auction listing, I said, hey, I can do this, you know, I'm sitting 1 hour west of Toronto, and the guy puts his phone number in the comments, so I call him. And we start chatting, and so we okay about the price, and he says, yeah, he dismantled, they pretty much took lots of components off that wheel loader. So like the bucket, the top of the cab, because it was too tall, and I don't know about the counterweights, but I said, finally I said, so what's the weight? And he says, oh, it's just under 140,000. I'm like, wait, 140,000 pounds? I thought it was somewhere like 95,000 pounds. And he says, oh, no. Fully assembled, he says it's 170 something pounds, but we took all this stuff off, he says, so now it's only 140. I'm like, shoot, you know, I cannot do this. And now and then he posted that load on my load board, and I'm just watching, and I'm almost, you know, crying because I see the price is going up. Like, at first it was 30% more than what I offered, then it went up to 200%. So the guy started offering 2 times more money than when I offered him. The guys are playing with some excavators over there. And then at the end of the day, it went to 18,000 bucks US. And I'm like, holy cow, you know. But 140,000, you know, you need a 75-ton trailer. You need a bunch of axles, right? Like 3 plus 3 plus 3, and probably another 2 in the back there. Yeah, basically, yeah. So like a triple axle booster, triple axle Jeep, you know, you need basically a lot of money invested in order to do that kind of load. And then another guy was posted a load. It was 60,000 pounds. Okay, going not too far, going to Ohio. The rate was cheap, but I thought maybe I can convince them to add a little bit, you know, maybe add, what was it, like 25%, you know, 20-25%, and then the rate would be good. And so I started talking to this guy, and I recognized the name of the company. I worked with them before, And I remember I had issues with it was a COD, and this guy as well says it's a COD. And I said, you know, I worked with the guys before, and the problem was that when I was at the delivery point, the customer that was supposed to give me cash on delivery, we were not on the same page how much cash he was supposed to give me. Like, I had one number, right? And this guy says, no, it's pretty much like 40% less, because he shows me his agreement with the broker, I show him my agreement, and he says, I don't know. And then finally the broker sent me money by PayPal, and of course I had to pay the PayPal fees, you know. And so I said, and I remember it's the same guy, he has a Spanish name. And the guy says, no, we don't do that, you'll be paid. And then I said, okay, so what is this? And he says, oh, it's a big excavator. It's like one of those monster projects where they need like 20 trucks, you know, to move it. So why are you paying so little, you know? And the guy says, so what can you do? We have this one, we have tracks, and we have a boom. And I said, what's the overall weight? He says 170,000. I said, okay, so you're saying that the house, like the main part that he wants me to do, is only 60,000? I said, are you sure? And the guy says, yeah. Like, you know, if the whole thing is 170,000, then I'm pretty sure it would have been, you know, like around 80. Actually, wait a second. I had that. Remember, that's what I took to Colorado. Yeah, it was around 60,000. It was a massive crane that required like 40 trucks to move everything. But the actual, no, but I didn't have the house. I had the foundation, right? Only the foundation was 60,000, you know? And then the other truck took like the actual house with the cab and stuff like that. So yeah, so basically, you know, that's the problem sometimes where you deal with these brokers that they don't know anything. Like they put a load and they have no idea actually what it is, you know, like, and so yeah, this guy now changed the tune, and he says, well, actually, they don't want to disconnect the boom, so now it's 100,000 pounds. So I'm guessing it was not the boom. I'm guessing they took the boom. It's just the foundation and the cab actually probably was 100,000. And I said, you know, I don't want to do 100,000 because in theory I can do that because I have 8 axles, you know, like 20,000 pounds per axle. It's 160, but I only get 57 at the bridge because of my bridge formula. Like they say, the truck is too short. And it's just basically, it's right on the edge. Like I don't want to get the load and then not be able to get permits, right? And then another load was I talked to, like just popped up this morning from Quebec, and it's a nice load, 79,000 pounds, you know, perfect, not too heavy, not too light. So it eliminates. I like it that it's not too light because then you get rid of the competition, most of whom have 35-ton double drop trailers, right? So I always look for somewhere around, you know, 65, 70,000 pounds and heavier, because then it's just easier to get decent pricing, you know. Otherwise it's just too many trailers like that, just regular double drops, you know. And they can do up to like 65, because most of them it's just 3-axle trucks, right? And 2 or 3 axle trailers. And hold on, there's a light, like the sunshine. It's actually pretty cool today, like cold, but right now I put the camera on my dash. I don't want it to overheat, but anyway, it's only plus 12 C or 50 something, 52 I think I was. Hold on one second, because you see, that's why I'm wearing this. It's like, okay, 12, 53. So it's a bit cool outside, you know. The wind is like really kind of like raw, you know. And so yeah, so this load popped up and looks like a legitimate load. I checked their credit with my factoring agency. They say, you know, pre-approved, perfect. But it picks up in Quebec, and I know if it's like 80,000, just like what happened last April, for me I would need a tandem Jeep to do this, you know. And I checked on the Quebec website, frost, like spring weight restrictions, it says that Zone 1, Montreal, is still, that restriction is still in effect until May 17th. So until Friday next week. And so I emailed this lady. I said, you know, I can do it. What are you offering? She said, well, why don't you give me your price? Okay, I give her the rate. And then she says, when can you load? I said, well, I think there's still frost laws in there, you know, in effect. And she says, look at this. And she sends me a news release from CN, you know, like a railroad. And it says, Quebec lifted, you know, spring weight restrictions. I go back to the Quebec page, like official Quebec website, and I see it says estimated end of restrictions in Zone 1, Montreal, is May 17th. And then I look again at her email where she just did like a screenshot, and I look at the top where there's a link to that page that she copied, and it says 2018. So she found old last year news release from the CN Railroad, and I said, well, that's 2018, that's not 2019. I said, we cannot do it. I said, I can do it. Put me on you know, put me on your computer. I can do it as soon as the restrictions are lifted, right? And there's still one load that actually I did find, and the lady said I'm still on it. We signed the agreement. I didn't have the rate confirmation. But that one is loading in Northern Ontario, and it has to go through Northern Michigan, right? And that I keep checking every day. The restrictions are still there. You cannot go north of Highway 2 in Michigan. So that one pays pretty good, except that of course I have to, you know, go empty 400 miles north into Northern Ontario, which also has restrictions, but the main highways are not affected. It's only like secondary roads, you know. And also at the to finish this, I thought I would just give you a glimpse at my inbox, like my email inbox. So Priceline, that I use all the time for to book hotels, just send me an email. Urgent, Sergey, you made it. You made the cut for rental cars from $5. And they give me like a rate here. Boston, $5 a day. Salt Lake City, $5 a day. But you know, can be cool. If you go somewhere, like if you fly, you know, for vacation, you can rent a car. My friend broker in Alberta sends me an email. Hey, did you see this? And he posted a link. These guys did they did the video as a premiere of their business, and they started like 4 months ago. They already have 51,000 subscribers, and they did a premiere about 2 weeks ago. I click on the link. I couldn't watch it. Like the connection was too slow. Dispatch recombine Ontario to Maryland. The guy says, I have all your info and I will keep you posted. Thank you. So basically, that's another. This was actually a good load. From Ontario to Maryland, I just have to go about 2 hours empty inside Ontario. And it's an agricultural machine. But the guy posted a good rate, like I said, so no topping. It's just like a big combine, you know. But he cannot get hold of the customer. You know, that's another thing that happens, that customers hire brokers, and then brokers, you know, find trucks. Like this guy says, yeah, okay. I said, I like your rate. When can we load? There's no restrictions here. I said, it's 500 miles to Baltimore. I check his credit. The credit is good, so I can be paid through my factoring company. So everything is in place, except the guy cannot find his customer. And so he says in the previous email, he says he took off that load off the load board because he cannot find the customer. And I send him I often send them, you know, when I deal with brokers, I often send them a picture of my truck. Like I have a small version of a photograph I took, you know, that I can send as a quick attachment just to show them, you know, like my truck looks good, the trailer is pretty much new, right? And this guy, and usually they like it, and this guy says, "Sir, that's a beautiful trailer. I sent a message to my rep. I'm missing some info. I will touch base with you shortly." And then after this he says, "Cannot find him. Load is basically removed from the load board, but if he finds it again, he'll get in touch with me." Now this guy here, he posts a load, and it's a bit on the cheaper side, like a nice load for my trailer, but I sent him a counter offer, like, "I will do this for this much." He just replies with a number, the same rate that he has posted. Basically, he doesn't want to pay anything more. So that was the email. Like, I sent him, my email just says one number, you know, and he sends me just, you know, let's say, send you X dollars, and he replies Y dollars. That's it. So I said, well, like, what kind of a counter offer? I already saw your price, so I'm, you know, I just think it should pay more. And the guy just replies with the same number that's in his that's on his load board offer, you know. And then here, okay, this is the lady that she says, "OMG, so sorry." That's the lady who quoted the 2018 news release from CN. And I said, "That's 2018." And she says, "OMG, I'm so sorry." I said, "Well, here's all my info, here's my picture. Let's, you know, stay in touch. I really want to do this, but I'm not sure I'll be here like 1 week from now, but maybe I'll do like a short load, right?" And I had a bunch of exchanges with this lady, and she has a really unusual last name, like an animal, or rather a bird, you know. But anyway, oh, and then I signed up for some service here, because, you know, I like taking pictures, you know, doing photography. So I just started another Instagram account just for my photography only. Like, one is for the trucks, right, that I use, like my truck loads that I use as a kind of like showcase. When I work with brokers, they say, "Okay, what's your experience?" You know, sometimes they ask us, "Okay, go to my Instagram," you know, and it has all my loads pretty much. And, you know, so I keep that one separate. And then I just started another one where, because I had all these, you know, beautiful photos sitting on my computer, you know, from the days when I had the Nikon, and I had New York City, I had Baltimore, I had Chicago, like, you know, shots. I had Idaho shots, and I just put them on this new Instagram. And I was researching, you know, how to make money with Instagram or Facebook, and I found a list. I found a list of a few websites that allow you to do that. So I signed up with one, because they only wanted to have like 300 subscribers. Okay, so I made like $13 US on my Instagram so far, you know, doing nothing. So, which is pretty cool. And then this guy here from Quebec, I don't know where he gets all these loads, but he put me on his list, and that's what happens, you know. And actually, that's what you want. You want to be on the list, on the mailing list of these brokers, and they send you loads, right? And they just send, I don't know, 2,000 emails, like you, because I see that to field, you know, like address where he's sending. It just has his own name, you know, like SERGEI to SERGEI. And then I know that he's using some kind of a database where he puts in all trucks, you know. But anyway, so this guy has a bunch of military loads, like Canadian Army, but he just sends you where it's coming from, where it's going to, weight, dimensions, and basically you're supposed to bid. Like, you know, I said, okay, where's the rate? Oh, it's an auction. You should, you know, send me your rate and we'll bid on it, and if we, you know, if we get it, then you'll get to move it. But this guy's in Quebec, so all his loads are like, you know, from Quebec going to New Brunswick. Like, first of all, Quebec is like 400 miles from me, right? And then so I hate loads where there's deadhead on both ends, you know, like I go empty all the way to Montreal, then okay, then I go like 400 miles with a load, and then I end up in New Brunswick, 5,000 light years away from civilization. Then I have to deadhead 1,000 miles, you know. And so I sent him a couple of rates a few times. He never responds. But that's what happens. You know, once you get on these lists, then actually at least it gives you something to do, you know. And then we have one very important email from Netflix, because I sign up for Netflix. I pay what, like $10 every month, $8, and they say, Sergey, we just added a movie you might like. And actually it looks pretty cool. It's some kind of a blue iguana. Hapless ex-cons are recruited to travel from Brooklyn to London, where they try to steal a priceless gem that's also sought by a psychotic crime lord. Might watch it tonight. All right. Is my camera getting hot? No, it's still okay. All right, so let's yeah, if I'm out of focus, guys, I'm sorry, but yeah, I decided to disable that tracking, right? Because the camera is tracking, but I find that this USM lens is a bit noisy. Also, I took off my microphone because, you know, look at this thing. I love this mic. Usually I use it with this dead cat over here. You know, like this. This is like $80 Canadian. You know? Works very well, and the best part is that it has no battery. It just takes power from the camera itself. You know, so you don't need to worry about batteries. But this is Rode. I think it's called Video Micro. But anyway, last thing before my camera overheats. Let's look at see if there's any new loads. Oh, I got it open. Okay, hold on. I have two searches over here. One is Ontario, Quebec to US, and the other one is US to back to Ontario and Quebec. So now we have okay, Ontario to Ohio, the same 100,000 pounds, same price, nothing changed. 140,000 pounds, that big load is still there, and now it's offered not by just that guy, but a bunch of other brokers at a highly reduced price. So still $18,000 for 466 miles. You know, that's the kind of stuff you want to be doing. 18,466 miles. Just think about that for a second. And then we have Ontario to, okay, that's the same thing. It's like 20 people are now posting this, you know. I wonder how they get this, whether they're also bidding, like a different guys bidding for this 140,000 load with the same customer, or did they just take it from this guy that's, you know, offers a lot of money now, you know, because now these guys are only offering $6,700. The same load. Everything is the same origin, same destination. That one guy says 18,000. These guys say 6,700, and it's on the same load board. Like, why would I wanna even talk to these idiots, right? When I can, you know, get 3 times more money. Unbelievable. Sometimes when that's what you see, you know, with brokers. But let's see, where's. And I posted my truck. Favorite searches. Okay, Ontario QC. Okay, I just want to see if there's anything new in the States going back to Ontario. Oh, well, there's one. 223 miles, Michigan to Ontario, 55,000 pounds. Not too bad. Like, what's the catch? Tarps, IGN. You know, it's not too far, so I can deadhead over there and bring it back. Alright, let me call on this one. See what happens. But anyway, just wanted to guys give you like a picture of what's going on. And yeah, that again, it takes for some reason forever to find a good load. I don't know. But now things look to be picking up, you know. So hopefully I'll find something today or tomorrow. So stay tuned. I'll post an update when I have a new load. Thanks for watching.